Hi everyone, my name is Andreas Steinross and I'm here to promote critical thinking and to promote us to becoming the best humanitarians we possibly can. This planet is run by one big, fat, gigantic, narcissistic ego, and we're all just standing around allowing this to happen. Why are 7 billion of us following the agenda of a bunch of lunatic, insane psychopaths? How about we all put our differences aside and start to focus on what we have in common? And the fact of the matter is, we're all peasant slaves working for peanuts. We're all slaves to the money system. I truly believe that no one really understands how the elitists control the entire wealth and power structure, but it appears to be one gigantic pyramid structure. If you were to chase the money trail long enough, eventually this money will stop flowing when it reaches the end. This would be the very top of the pyramid, or the capstone. It should be blatantly obvious that the bankers, the pharmaceutical corporations, the oil and gas industry, the electrical energy industry, and the food and water industry are all sitting on top of this capstone, while the rest of us workers are all at the very, very bottom, holding the entire weight of the structure up upon our shoulders. I am suggesting that we workers chip away at this stone to break free from the pyramid. How about we all get together, pick ourselves up, pick up the base of this pyramid, take 600 steps away from it, tightly anchor it to the bedrock, and now we have just successfully accomplished establishing our new society. We have just built the new foundation. We can all now sit on this foundation and loudly cheer as we watch the old pyramid collapse and fall to the ground. Our bodies, our souls, our lives are all a wonderful, precious, miraculous gift. And it only makes perfect sense that these bodies become fully equipped with their own medicine factories. Bliss comes from following our passions. Bliss comes from following our heart songs. Bliss comes from feeling the life force from within. And when I'm feeling this bliss through my own life experience, I also feel the strength of my immune system going through the roof. Bliss puts a huge, gigantic smile on our face. Happiness strengthens our immune systems. The pursuit of self-empowerment strengthens our immune systems. I've always been extremely interested in the placebo effect, and I've often wondered why there are no huge, giant corporate funding going into this phenomenon. Could it possibly be because if we discover the body's ability to heal itself, that it would have a devastating negative impact on the huge, gigantic corporate profits that the pharmaceutical corporations are making? Here is a quote from Harvard University Edmund J. Safra Center for Ethics. This article is by Donald W. Light, June 27, 2014. Quote, "Few know that systematic reviews of hospital charts found that even properly prescribed drugs, aside from misprescribing, overdosing, or self-prescribing, cause about 1.9 million hospitalizations per year. Another 840,000 hospitalized patients are given drugs that cause serious adverse reactions, for a total of 2.74 million serious adverse drug reactions. About 128,000 people die from drugs that are prescribed to them. This makes prescription drugs a major health risk, ranking 4th with stroke as a leading cause of death. The European Commission estimates that adverse reactions from prescription drugs cause about 200,000 deaths. So together about 328,000 people are dying from prescription drugs in the US and Europe. The FDA does not acknowledge these facts and instead gathers a small fraction of the cases. End quote. So if this quote is actually true, then our brothers and sisters are literally dying from FDA-approved prescription drugs. There is no denying this. These are crimes against humanity. There is no denying this. This is fact. 7 billion of us are just standing around and allowing this to happen. There is no denying this. This is fact. Millions of deaths from prescription drugs is general public knowledge. I'm just a simple construction worker and I've known about this for the past 10 years now. How can the entire mainstream medical community not know about this? Isn't a doctor supposed to know about every last little tiny detail about the entire cause and effect of each drug that they are prescribing? Sorry, doctors, you can't use your ignorance as bliss card on this one. So the first question is every last single doctor in the entire mainstream medical community in on this? And the second question is, if the whole entire lot of them are in on it, well, then why ain't the whole entire lot of them in prison? If a doctor writes a prescription for a patient and there's proof that this drug killed that patient, well, isn't this solid concrete evidence for murder? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. And if every other doctor knew about this murder and did absolutely nothing about it, well, isn't this solid concrete evidence of an accomplice to murder? Well, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. And here's the delicate question. If these doctors are convicted of murder, well, should they get the death sentence? Isn't this exactly what the doctor gave his patient when they gave this prescription to begin with in the first place? Maybe the doctors should get a taste of their own medicine. I don't know how any of this stuff in the medical cartel works. I'm just the man asking all the questions. So don't shoot me, I'm only the messenger. But as the messenger, I do know one thing for sure. We as a society might like to put our efforts into making each and every doctor 100% accountable and responsible for all of their actions. So here are a few questions that each and every doctor might like to ask themselves. Am I a pharmaceutical salesman or am I a healer? Is the mainstream medical community's main focus on huge, gigantic corporate profits, or is it on humanity's well-being? Is there solid concrete evidence that 328,000 of our brothers and sisters are dying each year from FDA-approved drugs? And if so, why am I just standing around allowing this to happen? And the most important question of all to ask is, what can I do to better the situation? Freedom lies in the choices we make. So I suggest that you doctors who are listening do some soul searching and dig deep. Do you choose to follow the medical cartel and their huge, gigantic corporate profits? Or do you choose the overall well-being and happiness of all of your brothers and sisters? This is a very important choice, so please feel it deeply in your heart. You can't be very wishy-washy about it or indecisive about it either. You're either on the bus or you're off the bus. If you have one foot on the bus and one foot off the bus, Well, eventually the bus is going to drive away and you'll be throwing yourself under the bus. So after all the court hearings and criminal prosecutions, we might like to rebuild the entire healthcare system. How about all the leftover doctors from the mainstream medical community, the holistic medical community, the spiritual healing community, all get together to see what you can come up with. How about you put whatever remaining egos aside, put all your differences aside, and focus on that and what you have in common. How about you put the main focus on the pursuit of overall well-being, in which case happiness has a huge role to play in. How about we as an entire society get together and put an end to the insanity of these crimes against humanity, of our brothers and sisters dying from prescription drugs, the insanity of our brothers and sisters dying in the name of huge corporate profits. Let's make happiness and the big long-term overall well-being our #1 priority. People like to complain about lazy people who don't work and sponge off of us working people. Well, I say let them. Who cares if a handful of people don't want to contribute to society? We can still feed these people, house them, clothe them, give them access to healthcare and wellness centers. And if you want some more goodies out of life, well, then go to work and earn it. And how about we don't let a few handful of lazy people stop an entire society from moving forward? A lot of people are living their lives acting all content. You might be happy with your piece of cake, but not everyone has a piece of cake. There just isn't enough to go around for all of us with this current money and economic system. Now imagine if you had a party for your kids. You cut the cake into 16 pieces, and after you hand out the last piece, you realize that there's still 12 kids left out who didn't get any cake. Now put yourself in those kids' shoes and the other 1 billion of their starving brothers and sisters, and see how that feels. Doesn't feel very good at all, does it? Women haven't been given enough recognition and respect over the years. Lots of great women have done lots of great things. Men and women are not equal. Women can give birth, have menstrual cycles, and are more dialed into their emotions. Men have stronger bodies and can't give birth. It's not about equality, it's about fairness and mutual respect. So brothers, let's show some more gratitude and appreciation towards the ladies. Go out and buy some flowers and chocolates for your wives, girlfriends, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, nieces, cousins, sisters, and the lady next door. And thank them for having such a strong femininity. You have helped me to carve the path for being the man that I am. You just have to remember to be sincere about it. Women are smart. They can see right through us. Here's a verse from a song that some of you might remember. This land is your land, this land is my land. From Bonavista to Vancouver Island, from the Great Lakes, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters, this land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. All right. Thank you very much, Anne Murray. This song to this day still touches me and puts a smile on my face. You truly are an iconic Canadian folk musician. So, bearing this song in mind, how come is it that not one single corporation has ever asked for my permission to freely take the natural resources of this country, which belong to the people of this country, which I am a member of. How come is it myself and a gigantic portion of my brothers and sisters have never once received a profit sharing check from all the money that was made from these natural resources, which belong to everybody in this country, which I am a member of? And how come is it when our brothers and sisters demand that these corporations solve all of their environmental pollution problems, that we never get any results that satisfy the vast majority of us? They make huge, gigantic corporate profits, yet they have no money to actually solve all of their pollution problems. And what about the bankers? Why is the government still borrowing money from the private banking sector when we could reinstate the Bank of Canada and have interest-free loans, just like prior to 1974 here in Canada? Why are we, the workers, literally paying hundreds of billions of dollars in unnecessary interest fees? And why are the bankers and corporations getting a way more heavily favored than we, the workers, are? So you see, brothers and sisters, if 60 to 70% of the entire workforce were in our union, then we would be co-creating our own reality. We would be making our own show. Doesn't 60 to 70% of the entire workforce also mean 60 to 70% of the entire voters? We could easily groom any politician that we wanted to. A politician who would meet all the needs of every last single worker before the things that the bankers and corporations demand. We could be in charge of our own banking. We can be in charge of industry and manufacturing. We can be in charge of cleaning up and maintaining this cleanliness of our environment. We can create our own job security. We can focus on making each and every one of us wealthier beyond our wildest dreams. Yes, folks, if we had 60 to 70% of the entire labor force in our union, then 60 to 70% of us could legally vote in any government that we wanted to. Imagine that one. These are just a few things when I say yes, we are going to make our own show. And why stop there? Imagine if 60 to 70% of the entire labor force of the entire planet were in our union. Well, we'd really be rocking and rolling then, folks. United we stand, and together we rise. Money limits us in everything that we do. There is never enough money to fix all of our social and all of our environmental problems. These limitations is the root cause of this planet being a cesspool. We can't rely on the government to fix all of our problems. If the government actually did their job, well, they would have solved all of our problems a long time ago. So we can't rely on the government to solve all of our problems. We can't rely on the education system to solve all of our problems. If school actually did our job, there would be a whole bunch of smart people on this planet, and they already would have solved all of our problems. So we can't rely on the education system to fix all of our problems. We can't rely on the bankers and the corporations to solve all of our problems. Their modus operandi is take everything you can from the poor people and give it all to the rich people. So we can't rely on the bankers and corporations to fix all of our problems. So you see, folks, no one is going to fix anything on this planet. Therefore, we are the only ones who can make this happen. We workers are the only ones who can create change. We as a society are miserably failing at life. One only needs to open their eyes and look at the current state that this planet is in. Is the human race so mentally challenged that we allow money and the economy to dictate to us how we live our lives? Where exactly does democracy fit into this equation? If money and the economy is dictating to us on how to live our lives, then does democracy even exist anywhere on this planet? And where exactly does fairness fit into this equation? If money and the economy are dictating to us how we live our lives, well, are we really truly free? Again, here is a quote from Johann Goethe, quote, "There is no better slave than one who thinks he's free," end quote. Come on, everyone. We're way smarter than this. I'm 100% convinced that we as a society can be doing a way better job of running this planet than is currently being done. The only thing stopping from creating heaven on earth is us. I am suggesting that we the workers all unite together to combine our efforts, our energies, our unique individual internal powers, our hearts and our souls to create a new society in which we are all so profoundly longing for. How about we the workers put the main focus on happiness and well-being and put an end to all the suffering on this planet? When we practice all looking out for each other, all helping each other out, all caring for each other, all equally sharing the gifts amongst each other, well, then we all benefit from this. Everyone's a winner. This planet is a cesspool. Money is dictating to us how we live our lives. We are all slaves to the money system. Poverty exists. War exists. Violence exists. We are destroying our planet and our environment in the name of huge corporate profits. The entire medical system is driven in the name of money and the economy. Governments favor bankers and corporations far more than the citizens of that country. And 1% of the world's population control all the wealth and resources and are hoarding it, while the other 99% of us are all slaves to the money system. Why are we acting so stupid? Are we all in some kind of deep hypnotic trance? We have been given one job to do, one task, and that is to take care of this planet. All the miraculous gifts to ensure we all fairly share this gift. To have responsible stewardship of the land and to take care of the animals. We as a society are failing miserably at this one job. We have walked away and abandoned our one and only gift. Now is the time more than ever to ask ourselves the question, what can I do to better the situation? Now is the time to put all of our differences aside and to focus on that and what we have in common. Now is the time we all start to look out for each other, nurture and care for each other, to find our internal powers so that we can contribute to society. I am suggesting that we get a whole bunch of leaders from all aspects of life to unite together and to work as a team. I would love to hear other people's crazy ideas, to hear what others have to say about this. What do you want to see change in our world to make it a better place? What do you want that will make you happy? We want everyone's input and energy on this. Let's all work together to make this happen for each and every one of us. I've been telling you what works for me and what doesn't, what blows my hair back. It is up to each and every individual to find it within themselves, their passions, their dreams, their integrity, morals, dignity, authenticity, and our unique individual internal powers. And it all comes from putting in your heart and soul into whatever you do. Once we find the zest for life, I suggest that we workers get together to work as a team, to co-create the reality that we are all so profoundly longing for, so that we are all wealthy in our spirits and all the other stuff that life has to offer. Now is the time to stop regressing and start moving forward. Freedom lies in the choices that we make. The big part of spiritual growth is learning how to make more wise and better choices. And even if we make stupid choices, the potential and possibilities to learn from it to make better choices next time are always there. The people in charge of this planet are dialed into the divide and conquer concept. They're playing with our emotions. They're using fear, anger, hatred, and doubt to control us and to manipulate us. So how about we start to live our lives the opposite, in a state of no fear, in a state of no anger, in a state of no hatred, and in a state of no doubt. And let's all focus on becoming the best humanitarians we possibly can. Let's learn to love ourselves and the gift of life 100%. All right. Ciao for now, my brothers and sisters. Peace be with us all. V for victory. In solidarity. United we stand and together we rise. Thank you, everyone.